amazing, mate. Matthew Pavlich 200. He's our biggest legend of the club. It means a hell of a lot to me that we can win for him. We didn't play very well in the first half, but I love that man. It's a great win.
Sunday morning, I'm waking up. Can't even focus on a coffee.
Well, it was one of the best moments of the weekend for mine, and it just showed to me that there is something at the Dockers that I think a lot of people don't think is there, and I've never thought that Pavlich is absolutely certain of staying at Fremantle for life, but on the back of that I reckon there's a very good chance.
It's an amazing expression of emotion publicly. I mean, we don't actually see such a public show of the camaraderie that exists between footballers.
It's absolutely fantastic. I think that's what footy clubs do to people. They bring them so close together, you rely on each other, you spend so much time together. Whether you win a premiership with people or not, you form some really tight bonds, and it's just great to see Hasleby and Pavlich have that sort of bond together.
Fourth Glendinning medal for Hasleby. He's a player that just continually rises to the occasion. He's had a very good year on the back.
He should have been a better player. Given he's won 4 medals, he should have been a better player than he's been.
He's been a fair player coming back off a reconstruction, and he hasn't been playing in the best of sides, Mike, which can, I think, impact on a person's reputation. And he's been a very good player.
Very good?
Yeah, I think he's been very good, and I think it would have been also different. I reckon he's a better Telstra Dome player too than he is a Subiaco player. He's better suited to the smaller ground, just with his side.
Speaking of which, there was a major decision about whether the Dockers would go for Daniel Rich or Stephen Hill. I think the view was that Hill was better suited to playing on Subiaco, and I think that in some ways that decision was partially justified on the weekend.
He
because
can play on any ground, this kid.
He was flying, but you need leg speed and you need to be a brilliant kick. We know Rich is that. Leg speed perhaps not as good as this kid.
I think what it says is both kids are very good players, but you're not going to know who's better for 5 years. That's when the decision will get vindicated.
But he's got poise. Rich has too, but I mean, this is ability to change his mind and make the right decision.
And one thing he can do is he can move over the ground quickly and easily and cover the ground.
That was good there. Hold the ball.
I think he had hard 9 contested ball gets on the weekend, which is a great effort for a young kid. It looks like he had a break in the wind, but gets in and gets the ball as well.
Gerard, who is the most important player in this Fremantle team in terms of how they perform?
I reckon 2 things have changed a lot in the last 2 weeks. Pavlich has gone into the middle and become a bull at the gate in the some of the contests, and Roger Hayden has come back.
Like Hayden, don't you?
I love Hayden. I think once again, I think he's undersold on the eastern seaboard because he's not playing in Melbourne as much, and a lot of people don't see. But the ball in his hands, he is as good a player as there is in the competition. Rarely makes a mistake. He did one banana kick, I think, on the weekend that he'd like to get back. We'll have a look at that later on. But, geez, he's a good decision maker.
He is. He's been... I think your point's valid about that we don't see enough of him over here to fully appreciate his talents.
Yeah, I mean, Fremantle, I know they really appreciate him. Just a much better side. They have been a much better side since he's come back in. But, yeah, Pavlich and Hayden, you know, they've been the difference.
You got your wish with the big fella? Big Aaron. Big Aaron went into the goal square at the weekend.
He did.
Do they need to get their balance right with how much time he rucks, or even if you don't take him off, just send him into the goal square?
Well, I think if his fitness would enable them to do that, they do that. Just have a look at the size of the ball in this bloke's mitts and the size of Darren Glass.
Yeah.
Now, that is an unstoppable force if he can get his balance right. Now, they've tried it before, but this was the first time he's got his legs and his upper body in sync to take 2
if he does that, Jimmy, because you can't chop his arms.
He's unstoppable.
And you can't put his hands on...
Just kick it up high, he's unstoppable. If he can get into his position first, you can't move him.
It's fair to say he could be a more valuable forward than he could be a ruckman because they can block takeaways. Very hard to block it 18 foot in the air, Mike.
The only hard thing is if you can get it down the ground, then you can hurt him. If he doesn't mark it and gets it down, he's not going to be a good defensive forward for him, so he needs to take the mark and stay in the contest.
2 weeks ago,